God bless you, everybody. God gives me, um, sometimes gives me dreams about different countries. And this particular dream is about the Bahamas. However, I do want to make it known that God had given me this dream a couple years ago, but He's recently brought it back to my remembrance. And so at the time, I did not have an outlet to be able to put this video out anyway. So God is saying it's time now. So um, put it out, say it. I Well, I'm not going to make any apologies. So I'm just going to go and just say what God just go and say the dream and give you the interpretation, and y'all do what y'all want to do with it. Okay. So anyway, so this is the dream. I was at a resort in the Bahamas. I was at like poolside, and I looked at the neighboring resort next to me, and the resort was done in a like a Las Vegas style, and to me it looked kind of run down. And I looked up on the top of the rooftop. They had like like a flashing neon sign, and there was a water fountain on the top of the roof. And on the roof, the fountain had like five streams coming out of it, five streams of water, and then it went down to two streams. And I said, I found that odd. And then I looked over to the side, and y'all, I wasn't going to say this, but I'm going to say it. So I looked over to the side of me, and it was two women just basically, doing things that the Bible say you shouldn't do. And that's all I'm going to say, right? So, and it wasn't graphic, but it was just like you knew they was doing something they shouldn't be doing, right? And I was like, wow, I didn't know like the Bahamas allow that type of stuff to go down. So um at the end of the dream, I hear the word shift, prophetic shift or something like that. I hear the word shift. And also before the end of the dream, I was looking for my key. I was looking for my room key, and I said, "Oh, what is my room number?" And I said, "Oh, it's 130, 130, 130." So that was the end of the dream. So basically, the interpretation means this: the fountain represents there's five major streams that God is saying that the Bahamas would do well to in business, would do well to go into these five streams. I don't know what they are. I don't know what they are. Somebody from the Bahamas need to pray on this and find out what they are. But obviously, but the five streams go down to two. So basically, God is saying that basically that you're putting your eggs in one basket. You're putting your eggs in one basket. That you need to diversify. That that you may be in more than just tourism, but the other things that you're in need to be built up some more. And that goes with all of us. But basically, this is the issue. God forbid something would happen to tourism. God forbid there's some type of issue going on in the world where tourism goes down. Then that means that's going to bring your economy down. So God is saying that, especially in the times that we live in, that you need to be investing in other things besides tourism. And I know that you do, but I'm saying God is saying that you need to focus more, put more into it. Also, when I was praying on this, God said to me, private sector. So God is saying that you need to focus more on the private sector. I don't know who's going to hear this. I don't know if there's, some head of state somewhere, whatever, somebody that has power and influence, but the private sector needs to be be worked on. Free enterprise, not government in everything. And this is not just y'all, but this is just all around the world. Everybody knows that, private sector, you have to get that private sector going and flowing. So whatever it may be, that's lacking, God is saying it's time to build up the private sector. But the reason why that uh the hotel was looking to me like Las Vegas style, God is saying, because that's Sin City. God is saying that do not go into where you're trying to court people or tourists that because you're gonna get whoever you're gonna get, but don't go courting it. Don't go trying to find people that don't try to advertise to get um perversion over into your island. What I'm saying, you gonna get perverse people no matter what. I mean, that's all over the world, but you're gonna get perverse people no matter what. But don't go courting it. Don't go to try to advertise and get that type of perversion over into your island. So that's why I was seeing the two women. So God is saying, don't do that. And whatever other perversion, it doesn't have to be just that. It could be anything that God feels as though is an abomination in the Bible. Do not go into courting that sort of thing. When I went to the Bahamas a couple years ago, I was just so shocked that people kept saying, different people kept saying, this is the place where God lives. I think that's what the slogan is. This is the place where God lives. And I just was like, wow. I can't believe they say that as a people. Almost everybody I ran into said that. So God is pleased with that. Keep that the way that it is. Don't, just basically acknowledge him in everything, and you're going to see a dramatic increase. This is what God was saying to me. You're going to see a dramatic increase in wealth as long as you follow after him. Follow after him. So that's one thing. The other thing God said to me was oil and wine. And that went straight to, my mind went straight to Revelation 6, where it talks about the black horse being released upon the earth. One of the seals was broken and the black horse comes out, and there's a massive economic collapse all throughout the world. And God, but then at the end of Revelation 6, it says, don't damage the oil and wine. So the black horse will go and damage everything, but it couldn't damage the oil and wine. And that is synonymous for saying that God is not going to damage the anointed and the saved. So as a country, you guys are anointed and you're saved. So God is going to preserve the oil and wine as long as you follow after his ways. But with that said, we know that when prophecy plays out, and just in general, the world economy goes through different things, goes through waves, goes through ups and downs. So God is saying that God forbid this happens, some type of economic collapse. God is saying that he's going to preserve his anointed and his saved. And that goes for anybody, Bahamian or not. He's going to preserve the anointed and the saved. Also, when I was praying on this, God said to me, Miles Monroe. There was something that Miles Monroe was going to do before he died. There was something that he was going to do in terms of the economy. And he had plans. And whatever that was, God is saying that needs to be implemented. Somebody needs to take the baton and follow suit. Whatever it was that Miles Monroe was trying to do or trying to implement, God is saying that is the way to go. I don't know what it was. Y'all know. Y'all probably know, somebody know, whatever he was trying to do, God is saying to go ahead and do that. I'm not quite sure what the 130 means. But if you can break it down, you could break it down into 13, whatever the number 13 means, and 100. Put those two together to come up with an explanation. But I don't have clarity on that. I just know that God is saying that private sector needs to be built up, that he's going to preserve you as long as you don't go into perverseness and try to court things that are not of God. And he's saying whatever Miles Monroe was trying to do, whatever he was trying to implement before he died, that God is saying in terms of the economy, whatever he was trying to do, God is saying it's time for y'all to pick up the baton and do what Miles Monroe was trying to implement. Also, what else? Also, like I said, I haven't said it, but I know that the Bahamas is one of the it's doing well in the Caribbean. I think it's like number 1 in the Caribbean. It's doing well. But with that said, just like any country, America is doing well. The country which I live in is doing well, but yet there's so many people still suffering. You know what I mean? So there's always work to be done.